Facing foreclosure, Californians up and down the state could be losing their homes starting as early as this summer. I'm Spade at Keller Williams Realty. What you need to know about the timeline before the bank could take away your home. Well, before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor, give me a thumbs up. That would make my self-esteem feel real good. Hit that subscribe button and click that little bell so that way we can keep you notified as we get new videos. Now, on to our topic. Some 15 million Americans across the United States have filed forbearance to get some relief on their mortgages. Now, what is a forbearance? Let's review that for just a quick second. A forbearance is when your lender is allowing you not to make your mortgage payment for a certain period of time. Typically, that period of time is 90 days. Now, if you are in forbearance and you watched some of our previous videos and you read the fine print, you know you're going to have a balloon payment. So let's go over for a quick second, what is a balloon payment? Well, if you are in a forbearance, let's say it's 90 days, and you're missing your mortgage payment or been given permission to miss your mortgage payment for May, June, and July, you're going to have a balloon payment due in August, which means you have to make the mortgage payments from May, June, and July, plus August mortgage payment on August 1st. Well, what happens if you can't make that balloon payment on August 1st? Well, that's when the foreclosure timeline could technically start. Now, we're not exactly clear what's going to happen with foreclosure timelines, given the fact that the banks have actually given you permission to go late on your mortgage. So this is what we do know. A mortgage in California can take up to 200 days. So if the banks do say that you are delinquent on August 1st because you are not able to make the balloon payment, we want to give you the timeline so you completely understand it. So the foreclosure process actually starts on day one that you are late with your mortgage payment. Now, what happens when you're late, just so you know, mortgage payments are due on the 1st and they're late on the 16th. So typically, if you can make your mortgage payment anytime between the 1st and the 15th, you're in good shape. However, on that 16th day, that's when it's going to become late. And that's when the bank is going to tack on late fees and interest charges. Now, the good news is you can come current on your mortgage, and here's what you've got to do. You've got to pay all the back mortgage payments plus interest and late fees to come current on your mortgage, and then that is going to satisfy the lender. Now, the problem is many people find it hard to recover with all those late fees and interest charges. Keep in mind, the forbearance that you've been given, the investors are still expecting their money from the servicer, i.e. the lender who is servicing your loan. So somebody is always getting paid along the process, which means if you're not the one making the payment, the servicer is going to start demanding that they start foreclosure proceedings. So day one, you are late. You are technically late on day one. Fast forward to day 90. That is where the lender can serve you what is called a notice of default. What is a notice of default? Well, it is filed. It's a legal document that is filed with the title company. It's also tagged with the county assessor's office, and it's put on your tax record. It's also posted on your front door and mailed to you. And not only will you be getting all those late notices from the bank, but you're eventually going to get something from either the postman that you're going to have to sign for or UPS or FedEx. So they are documenting the fact that they have given you what's called a notice of default in California. And that typically comes 90 days after you've missed your first mortgage payment when the foreclosure clock starts. Now, like I said before, we're not exactly sure when the lenders are going to calculate day one, simply because they've given you a forbearance on the last 3 months. So technically what they could do, even though they've given you a forbearance and you've not made up the mortgage payment, they could have started that day one on May 1st, which means by the time you get to August and miss your balloon payment, you are already close to, well, you are 90 days in. Now, during this entire process, you are allowed to make up all your past mortgage payments with interest and penalties, and then the bank will remove the defaults off the deed. That is not an issue. They will do that if you can come up with all that money. However, if you can't and the process keeps moving forward, at the 180th day, that is when they can serve you with what's called a notice of trustee sale. But let's back up for one quick second. On the 90th day, they can give you a notice of default. Now, some lenders will likely be backed up, but by the 120th day, they are obligated to make sure that they give you that notice of default. Then, 60 days later, on the 180th day, they will give you what's called a notice of trustee sale. 20 days later, they could sell your home to someone or an investor on the courthouse steps, or they could foreclose on your property. Now, the process is not pleasant whatsoever. It will affect your credit. It will have negative effects on your credit. And if you do go into default, you are going to have a difficult time buying a house down the road. You are going to have to wait several years before you can buy a new home. So what's the difference between 2008 and now? Well, first of all, in 2008, during the Great Recession, that was a mortgage meltdown. That recession was tied directly to the mortgages that people were getting and going into default on. People were getting homes that they could never really afford in the first place. So that was what happened there. Now, we were doing what's called short sales, or selling a house short. We were selling the house for less than what was owed on the mortgage. What's different now? Now we are in a pandemic. What makes it different from 2008 and now is the fact that there is a ton of equity. There's over $18 trillion worth of equity that is untapped in these homes. So that means even if you go into default and you're missing your payments, you're still going to be able to pay off your mortgage and walk away with a chunk of change at the end of it. But make no mistake, if you do nothing, the bank can foreclose on your home and sell your home. This is not something that you can bury your head in the sand for. We want to make sure that you know what your rights are. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me at 619-818-2992. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.